What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, we breathe a collective sigh of relief. In a match that felt destined for failure, Juventus pulled out a 2-1 victory on the road. I know, I get it, with soccer, calcio football, I'm supposed to say 1-2 because they're on the road. I'm not doing it. I'm sticking to my American ways. It's a 2-1 victory, Juventus on the road. Get 3 important points to potentially secure their spot in 4th place. Technically, they need 6 more points to secure it, but Juventus do themselves a big favor there, thanks to the acts of Kean and even a goal by Paulo Dybala there in the first half there to secure the victory. We got to rate these players, talk about their performances today in the game that was. We'll do that now. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is Monday. It's a Monday, right? That's weird, right? For games, it's been so long since we've had a Monday game. But it's a Monday. It's April 25th, 2022. And of course, I've got your latest rundown of all the ratings of the players that played in the match that was Serie A, Juventus defeating Sassuolo. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And if you feel so inclined, throw me a freaking bone and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. I promise I talk Juve on there. It happens. It'll happen. Okay. Anyway, before we do anything, though, actually, wait, I already said that. What am I doing? Let's jump into it. Let's get to these player ratings. That's what I was saying. Before we really do anything, that's what I meant. Before I do anything, I can give you some comments on the game that was. Honestly, it was a game that I thought I was going to come in here. I thought I was going to have to yell and scream and talk about how upset we were about the performances of the way most of these players played this game. It was not beautiful football. It was Allegri ball to the core, as Alejandro likes to say, and it definitely was. It was bleep housing to the end, and you know what? I don't care. I don't care at this point. At this point, get us to the end, get us to victory. But you better hope. You better, not just hope, you better get your job done, Max Allegri, when it comes to this next season that starts up. We better be seeing a much better product than we've seen throughout this entire season. Am I hopeful for that? Not really. I mean, how am I supposed to be hopeful right now that Juventus is going to create anything better than what they've done this season, even if they add some better players when there has been no development? I'm still going to be pretty harsh when it comes to the rating of Max Allegri and the job that he's done for Juventus. It has not been good enough. I have not seen anything develop. It's the same thing that I think I more wrote about it instead of doing the video, the channel like I did this year. Last year I wrote about it. And I was particularly harsh on Andrea Pirlo, and I even said pull in the last 4 matches of the game because I thought Juventus needed Max Allegri. Well, Max Allegri hasn't been any better than Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo really didn't see a lot of development there either, but some of his teams performed better. Is that because he had Ronaldo playing with the squad? Could be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see exactly what happens moving forward if Allegri gets what he wants, especially when he wants to do a 4-3-3 movie into next season. You get some very important pieces. We have to be honest, and we have to be. You have to cut him a tiny bit of slack when it comes to realizing how depleted this team has been with injuries. It is what it is. Let's talk about the players now. All right, let's move forward. Juventus get the 3 points. Hopefully, they can close it out right now. That's the most important thing to me is the Coppa Italia, but that will be one for another day. Moving on with the rankings, the very first ranking we have up here is we're going to talk about Wojciech Szczesny and his performance. This is, to me, I think, was the man of the match. I got to give Wojciech Szczesny, because you all know if you've been on the channel, if you're here for the early days of the channel, I was not particularly kind to Wojciech Szczesny. I was crushing him. I was, calling for his job. I was bring in Donnarumma. Still want me a little Donnarumma, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was calling for his job from the beginning. Wojciech Szczesny looks like the goalkeeper that Juventus needs right now. He may not be the one that we want, may not be the one that we deserve, but it's the one that Juventus needs. He gets a 7 rating from me today for his performance, especially just really sticking out most of that first half. That literally Sassuolo looked, I don't want to say unstoppable because they weren't unstoppable because they were stopped, but they looked like they were the aggressor. They were the ones going there trying to force the attack. Multiple times. I mean, a barrage of potential goals from Sassuolo that you had Wojciech Szczesny stop. Thankfully, he was able to get there and stop most of them, except for one. And of course, that one was the guy, the wonder boy, the kid that Juventus want to bring in potentially to replace Paulo Dybala, Giacomo Raspadori, scoring that goal. Thankfully, it did not become a detrimental, or it was detrimental, but it wasn't a death blow for Juventus, if you will. Wojciech Szczesny today had 6 saves. One high claim, 4 saves from inside the box, 1 key pass, 3 accurate long balls, and overall a solid performance there. To me, I think it's close between 2 players, but to me, this is the guy that I'm granting my most valuable player of the game. Let's continue on, though, from there. It doesn't get better from there, though, okay? Let's continue. Next up is Matia De Chilio. And you know what? I want to say this back line, for all the injuries all over the field, but especially the injuries when you're seeing, Matthias De Ligt has been out, Chiellini's always injured, Bonucci's injured a lot. They performed okay today. It wasn't good, but I want to say, I think actually the right and left backs on the 2 sides, the guys that usually were pretty harsh of, I thought they did fine today. Nothing special, but they were fine. That's why I give Matia De Chilio a 6 rating today for his performance. He had a yellow card, but he had 4 clearances, 1 tackle, 1 ground duel, 3 key passes, 4 accurate crosses, 1 long ball as well. But before we get to the other side, the left side, where I'm going to be a little bit kind to him, I got to be a little bit mean to somebody, and that's Leonardo Bonucci. Leonardo Bonucci was not good today. He struggled a lot. He did not put in a good performance. It's another one of those things. Is it because he's coming off of, a pretty injury-heavy period in his season? Is it because he's been out of it? Is it because, we've seen so much of De Ligt and whoever else alongside him playing that he's rusty? Is it because Chiellini's not there holding his hand for a majority of this game? I don't know. But as it stands right now, he did not have a great game. Leonardo Bonucci had 3 clearances, 1 block shot. I'm going down the list, right? 5 accurate long balls. And this is something. This is one of the things that we can kind of get mad, a little bit upset about. Usually, I give Leonardo Bonucci, my guy, a lot of credit when it comes to creating with long balls. He's usually one of the few guys on the team that is able to deliver them down the field and actually create a little bit of something for the attack there. The problem is they constantly, not just him, but anybody else in the back there, would constantly, I think Rabiot did it for a little bit. I want to say, did Chiellini do it maybe once? I don't know. Whatever. Leonardo Bonucci was delivering these long balls, but the problem with these long balls is they were going to Vlahovic, and he was there in no man's land. He had nothing that he could do with it. It was just send it his way, hope and pray. Nothing really created, just in his area, hope and pray that he gets something done. And we know how that turns out, right? Anyway, he gets a 5.5 rating today for his performance. Let's continue it on. The other center back in the position today that started was Daniele Rugani. He gets a 5.5 for his performance today. He struggled there a lot in the first half, and that's the reason that he was pulled and substituted in for the likes of Giorgio Chiellini in the second half. I don't know why. I'm wanting to yawn a lot right now. I don't know why that's happening, guys, but anyway, bear with me. 5.5 rating for his performance today. 2 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 tackle, 1 ground duel, 1 aerial duel, 1. He had anything else as well. He did go 100% on accurate passes, so give him some credit there. I mean, we've seen Cuadrado struggle enough lately, just getting, completing a pass. Anyway, not good, not great. But, I'm not crushing him. The one thing I did notice, he did take a hard hit from the like Wojciech Szczesny there when Szczesny was making a save right into his side there while he was already on the ground. And I'm sure that shook him up a little bit. All right, let's get on to the right back, or the left back side, sorry. And that is Alexandro, who usually I come on here and I crush and I tell you how terrible he is and how we want to replace him with another player, which that still stands. But today he wasn't that awful. He was serviceable today. I'll give him credit. He gets a 6 rating today, played the full match. He had 1 assist there for one of those goals, which is very important, obviously. 2 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 tackle, 4 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1. He had 1 key pass and 1 accurate long ball as well. All right, let's continue on. Alexander's not interesting. And I don't know that Bernadeschi's going to be much more interesting either. Bernadeschi gets a 6 rating for me today. He had a couple opportunities where he tried to create some of those. I don't know if the word heroics is accurate, but he wanted to recreate some of what he did last match, scoring that goal for Juventus. Wasn't meant to be today, but he ended up playing for 87 minutes before being pulled. Finally, to let us see our boy Medetti play. But of course, it was 3 minutes of Medetti, and that's what we get with a Max Allegri kind of team. Anyway, I give him a 6 rating for his performance. He had, 1 successful dribble attempt, 3 ground duels, 1 block shot, 1 interception, 1 tackle. Really quiet for 87 minutes. Honestly, looking at these stats, he did a whole lot of nothing. So that's, maybe I should have dropped him a little bit, you know? Anybody agree with me? Maybe I should have. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue on with some players that are a little bit more interesting, and that's Danilo, the next one up. Danilo, who continues to play in the center midfield position with, obviously losing McKennie, Locatelli, Artur, all the players that we're missing right now. You're using Danilo up in the center midfield, and he's again serviceable in his position today. Gets a 6 rating for his performance. 4 accurate long balls delivered, 3 out of 3 ground duels, 1. He had 1 clearance, 4 block shots, and 2 tackles as well. Obviously, they're a little bit higher in the defensive portion of his game, just because that's what he succeeds most at. Next up, though, is, of course, probably one of my favorite players of the game today. Zakaria was doing great things in the first half, and he was playing a very good game overall for the club. Thankful that Juventus were able, trying to conjugate Juventus, I guess club would be singular, or is it plural because it's a club? Whatever. Anyway, Juventus was able to add Zakaria, obviously in the last Mercado. He added 1 assist today. He had 1 key pass, 1 accurate long ball, 2 ground duels, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 4 interceptions, and 1 tackle as well. But Zakaria is one of the stalwarts when it comes to the midfield right now, what we can really rely upon, especially when you look what's surrounding him. He's got Federico Bernardeschi on the right side. He's got Danilo there helping him in the middle, who's solid, but that's not his position. And then you got Adrian Rabiot, who is, my thoughts on Adrian Rabiot, right? Well, if you didn't, let's get into him right now. Adrian Rabiot, another 6 performance. And part of me wonders, if you're looking through some of these ratings that I'm doing right now, maybe I would have been much harsher if Juventus were to have dropped points or lost this match. If it would have ended 1-0 with Raspadori in that goal, or if it would have ended 1-1, maybe I would have crushed these guys a lot more. So maybe I'm a bit more level-headed today. But I gave Adrian Rabiot a 6, mainly because they're at the end of the game. Maybe I wasn't super impressed with his performance overall throughout the match. But what I did see from him were some really important defensive stops there at the end of the game. Some takeaways and clearances that really saved any potential dangerous situations that could have become sticky with Sassuolo, because we know that, they were a bit more... obviously, in the second half, Sassuolo had cooled down a little bit when it came to their shooting on target, anything like that. But at the same time, this Juventus squad, and when they can give up a goal, they'll do it. But anyway, so I give him a little bit credit there. 6 rating overall, 1 key pass, 1 accurate long ball, 1 shot on target, 2 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1, 2 clearances, 1 interception, and 2 tackles as well. Now we get more into the attack sections, and this is where maybe I'm coming off a little hot takey. And this is where maybe you might argue with me a little bit in the comment section down below. Anyway, let's start it off with Paulo Dybala. I know. Look at it. See this. See what I put here. And yeah, I gave Paulo Dybala a 5.5 rating today. I know. I am very aware that he scored the goal in the first half that really injected some life into this game. In an inept attack, just the overall structure, no creativity. I mean, you don't really need me to go over this all right now, because if you've watched any game for Juventus this season at all, you've watched all of them. Nothing's changed. Every single one is the exact same performance. Juventus shows up, they don't score in the first 20 to 30 minutes, they almost pack it in. And that's what happens. Juventus doesn't get anything going on there. They're not creating anything. Or if the other team puts them on their back a little bit, which Sassuolo did, Juventus tends to turtle up. Luckily, though, at the very end, Paulo Dybala kind of got it lucky. I'm not trying to be too harsh when I say that he got lucky with the goal there. There's good position. He found the back of the net. But Paulo Dybala was absolutely atrocious for almost the entirety of the first half, besides the 2.53 seconds it takes for him to take that shot and score the goal. Paulo Dybala's checked out. Paulo Dybala is no longer a Juventus player. He may be wearing the shirt, he may be out there on the field, but he's not playing for Juventus. His heart's out of it. He doesn't care. He's not trying to win games. And honestly, if it weren't for all the injuries that have accumulated for Juventus, he shouldn't be out there anyway. Obviously, I'm trying to come at this from a reasonable angle. If I were Paulo Dybala in his situation, and I know that this club has no interest in renewing me, and is not going to renew me, and I'm going to end up potentially going to their rival, which, whatever, I guess I don't care how that looks, whatever. But if that's the situation I'm in, yeah, maybe I don't care. Maybe I don't care to give it all, my all. Give it, the best effort today. Maybe not. But at the same time, you got to imagine you want to try to sell something out there. Put something that you can sell for another team to come get you, to want you to be a player, to prove that you still have it. Because it's been 2 years, 2 seasons since you've shown any life as a player. I mean, yeah, you can score a couple goals here and there. That doesn't mean that you're a great player right now. He's not a great player. He's not worth the money he's asking. And now there's the money that's floated out there that potentially could go to Inter for 7 per season. Yet all the nonsense with Juve, that doesn't sit well with me. And I don't care. Legacy, whatever, fine, move on. I'm not gonna cry. It's a business. As much as we like to think that it's not, and that it's this warm little love story that everybody loves your team as much as you do, and every player wants dreams of playing for your club, that ain't it. That's not what it is. It's never been that. It's about the money. It's about the chili cheese. It's about going home and having this lavish lifestyle. That's what it's about. But anyway, Paulo Dybala, majority of the first half, absolutely useless. I said this a little tongue in cheek, but at the same time, I felt like Paulo Dybala, for a lot of that first half, was playing to throw the game. Like, anytime he got a ball, he acted like he didn't know how to. This is the first time he's ever kicked a ball before. First time he's ever tried to make a pass. He almost tried to, I think it was Bernardi, Bummardi, really. Tried to set him up, basically, for a pass. Like, when he did a back pass, just tried to set it up for a Sassuolo player to score. It was embarrassing. I was ready to pull him immediately. I don't know what else we're going to throw back out there. I guess Moise Kean would have been the option, which near the end, I guess it kind of proved it was good. But anyway, as it stands right now, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully Juventus can get their other guys healthy, and I just wouldn't be playing Paulo Dybala at this point. 5.5 rating is what he gets from me today. Next up, we'll talk about Morata. Morata wasn't much better. I think I talked about both of them on Twitter, just saying that they were both just so soft. Dybala and Morata. Morata just had a couple balls just didn't go his way. A couple things unlucky on the pitch the way he played, but unfortunately just didn't have it today. Just it. Anyway, especially when those are your 2 starting strikers, and that's what you're stuck with. Anyway, he gets a 5.5 rating today from his performance. He had 1 shot on target, 3 shots off target. I realized I didn't read Dybala's stats. I don't care. 1 accurate long ball, 5 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1. He was offsides 2 times because, of course, and he had 1 clearance and 1 tackle as well today. Then we'll get into some of the substitutions. Chiellini is the first one up. Chiellini again. He's Chiellini. He was serviceable today. Did some good things, some good clearances there at the end of the match. Give him credit where credit's due. He gets a 6 rating today for his performance. Only playing about 36 minutes. He had 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 1 ground duel, 1 key pass, 1 accurate long ball as well. Just doing the things that we really need him to do. So good on Chiellini. He was definitely good today. Vlahovic, who came in for 35 minutes there in the second half. Obviously, didn't expect him to play. We were told he was being rested, but at some point you just had to pull Dybala because Dybala he's a problem out there. Vlahovic came in, tried to get some things going, but just really is just a man on his own. He's a man on his own and doesn't have any help. And you think you get him some help, but then obviously Locatelli, McKinney, all these guys are injured. We need to get guys back and healthy because you cannot continue playing Bernardeschi, Rabiot, Danilo, whatever, and expect them to actually be able to create something for our attack like this. Like, men cannot live on bread alone. That's basically what it is. Vlahovic gets a 5.5 rating for his performance. Not completely his fault, but just didn't have a lot going today. One successful dribble attempt. He had, what do we got? Not many stats out here. One ground duel, one, and one offsides. There you go. All right, and then the final substitute is Moise Kean, who was one good player today. He was, I mean, when I say good, really, honestly, if it weren't for that goal, I probably would have said he wasn't that good, right? But the goal changed everything. The goal changed everything because it won the game. He did it on his own. He was really good, created some space, and then, of course, finished there at the end. That's really where the majority of this comes from. He was the savior at the end. He did Fino alla fine, as Juventus needs, and in this moment, that was very important. He ends up he had one goal in 23 minutes, with one shot on target, so 100% there when you're going that way. Anyway, he also had 3 ground duels, one clearance, and 1 tackle as well. Then finally, let's talk about him, the man of the hour. When I say the man of the hour, I say it a little sarcastically, a little tongue-in-cheek again. It is Max Allegri. And again, I mean, I can't do reruns. I'm on reruns today. Talking about Max Allegri, talking about his lack of creating anything, lack of whatever. It was an Allegri special. It was the bleep house. It was whatever you want to call it. Juve lucked into a win. They clutched victory out of the jaws of defeat. I'll take it either way, but at the same time, like, dear Lord, like, you got to get something going here. And I understand Sassuolo is pushed as having all these great players that everybody wants to buy. Fratesi, Scamacca, Raspadori, Bamardi, all these players out there. There's whatever. Supposedly they have all these players that everybody wants. But they're sitting at the table where they are for a reason. There's a reason Juventus should be favored against them and that Juventus should be beating them. Juventus need to be able to get something going. And I understand there's injuries, there's players with injuries, and this isn't all his fault. But at the same time, like, show us you're creating something. These other players that are playing, they're not just guys you got off the street. Like, they're still paid multiple millions of euros to play this game. They should be able to come in and be serviceable players. And they should be able to create something. Somebody should be able to pass a damn ball to Dybala, to Vlahovic, to Morata, and not to expect them to go and all do it on their own. And that's the problem. I don't know what they work on. I don't know what exactly it is that Max Allegri does here, but something needs to change. I don't know if you need to add another staff member to work on these things, but something's got to give here soon. And when I say soon, I mean next season. Because obviously Juve can literally just win 2 games and then literally take a little nap until the Coppa Italia, play the Coppa Italia, and then see you next season. Then we're done. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's the situation as it stands. Unfortunate Juventus are not pushing to win a Scudetto and don't really have a feasible opportunity. It's possible, but it's really unlikely right now. But we look forward to next season and what can happen there. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about all the ratings that I did, the way the players performed? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think some guys should get more credit, less credit? Let me know. And then also, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings going into next season? First off, are you confident in the performance that Juve are going to try to give and put up against Inter? And, of course, the Coppa Italia final. Do you think Juve will end up going in there and pulling out a victory that they really desperately need? Or do you think it's going to be a unfortunate circumstance where Juve are just going to allow Inter to make a sweep on all the trophies this season, which would be depressing, to say the least. Anyway, and then also let me know what you think about this man's position moving forward. Do you think he can figure it out moving into next season once you have all those pieces back and healthy? Do you think Locatelli, McKinney, Chiesa, remember we're missing a lot of pieces, and then you're going to add some other important pieces in the summer. Do you think this will be enough to put us back in competition and potentially more, and I say potentially, I mean more than likely winning the Scudetto? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.